Thank you, President King. We'll go ahead and start with Sandra. Good morning, Sandra.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, TJ. Cheers. I have some questions regarding the validity and legality of the name change back on October 8th, 1996 to LRH Way. I was just looking at the names and the letters corresponding about support of this document being passed, and I see a lot of people living under the same roofs. Was this verified against the Los Angeles area census to ensure they were actual residents of the street and the actual city of Los Angeles? Anyway, just noticed, like they're not just Scientologists who were trafficked to LA and forced to sign a letter. Ann Archer and John Travolta are definitely not residents of the area around El Runway. The street name should be changed back and the bricks removed. They have violated the agreement on the R permit a multitude of times over and over again. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
We'll move next to Yvonne.
Thank you, TJ. I sent the administrative assistant a heads up regarding the event on September 1st, Labor Day celebration there at Scientology. It was advertised on Eventbrite for the community. It was not on the special events permits listing at BSS. My concerns did not all pan out. They did not have the blaring speakers, sound walls. They did not have live music. They did not have a food vendor. They did not have a table selling Dianetics. They did have a extremely tall, above 12-foot apparatus there that is a climbing and water slide. Which I continue to have concerns over. If a child falls from that height onto the cement...
Thank you, Yvonne. And that's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Jill, followed by Audit LA.
Okay, I'm reiterating everything what the two previous speakers just spoke about. I also want you to revoke the R permit. I'm also letting you know that who you're dealing with a very deceptive cult. They lie. They use their permitted events to get people to join. Just an FYI, probably not really in your purview, but on September 7th, the Church of Scientology of the Valley on 11455 Burbank Boulevard is advertising an internationally acclaimed violinist, Roberto Canny. The big punchline is that Roberto Canny died in April of 2025. So what kind of bait and switch are they pulling at that place? I just wanted to let you know you're dealing with liars. Bye.
And we'll move next to Audit LA, followed by Gigi.
Good morning. I want to reiterate what Yvonne was saying about that big slide. The last event they had, I did confirm with Building and Safety that they did not have any inspections because this was in their parking lot, but it is very dangerous looking. It's starting to kind of collapse from the top. To me, it could be a potential safety hazard. I'm going to check again to see with Inspector Surfois whether or not they had a permit for this time, inspection for this time. I don't believe they are, and there's no real recourse because they're like saying they don't, because it's posed, how can they complain? But I'm letting you know that that slide needs to be inspected if they're ever going to use it again. Also, I want to say they know about the slave labor because you know what, now when I come to look at these events, they make sure that none of their people are in the street. There are security guards that harass and harangue everyone. They run inside when they see me coming because...
Thank you, Audit LA. That's 60 seconds. And we'll move next to Gigi, followed by Children's Voices Matter.
Good morning. I'd like to start off by saying I really appreciate how this commission listens. Even when someone like the first person who spoke is saying words that are hard to hear, he's calling people out by names and saying really bad, hurtful things. you guys are listening and paying attention. And that earns a lot of respect from me. Like, I really appreciate that. I also want to take this time to point out way back in the day when the president started, I sort of got on him for not being on time or being the last one in the room. But President King, you've done awesome at being early, like so many times when I attend these meetings. So thank you. I appreciate that too. Also, look into that inflatable slide they're talking about, rip the bricks up, put in metered parking, and change the name back to North Berendo. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Children's Voices Matter.
Thank you for hearing me speak. So I want to continue with the children that Scientology failed. Number 36 is Tristan Silverman, Catherine Spolino, Candro Blanco, Bianca Larson Lanciai, Nathan Rich, Natalie Webster, Lana Webster, Sana Kamula, Lauren Haggis, Astor Woodcraft, Zoe Woodcraft, Bree Mood, April Cass, Leah Farrow, Dallas Hill, Haley Dawn, Stephanie Caldoni, Reese Cabell, Sunny Bieria, Damian Perkins, Vicky Palmer, Janice Grady, Derek Block, Aiden Anderson, Sandrine Litchfield, Taylor Tweed, Sasha Zipnoff, Julian Wayne, Catherine Wayne, Brandon Riesdorf, Day Riesdorf, Julia S. Gilman, Sean Cook, Sam Crabtree, Patricia Decker.
Thank you. Children's Voices Matter. That's 60 seconds. President King, that concludes the public commenters on the virtual platform who had previously indicated that they wish to offer commentary. However, during that block of time, there have been 3 additional hands raised. And just for your awareness, there is approximately 2 minutes left on the 10-minute time block.
Can you check? Yes,
yeah,
thank you, please.
Very well. We'll start. Thank you, President King. We'll start with Mona M. Would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
Yes, good morning, commissioners. Thank you so much for letting me speak today. I had made a previous comment about no accessible parking on Sunset, Fountain, L. Ron Hubbard Way, or Catalina. And there are plenty of public events. The only accessible parking is in the Church of Scientology parking lot, and that is restricted to public parking. It's only for parishioners. So whenever I attend an event there, I do not have public parking available to me for my wheelchair. I have made a report to DOD, and hopefully they are coordinating with you along those lines. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
And we'll move next to Laura FM. I see that your hand is raised. Would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm attaching along with everything, but also with the whole L. Ron Hubbard, revoke the L. Ron Hubbard Way permit because they have violated it in so many ways. But also, I just wanted the department to know, I wanted the board and the president and everybody to hear this. When I was protesting, again, the other day, I saw one of the known, as we call them, the internal slave members that are on a, they did something wrong, so they're being forced to do amends. And this woman who I was in the CMO, which is an internal group, was on the roof rolling paint on top of the roof in the hot boiling sun on Labor Day. Okay, so that's just one thing. Also, another person told me that they are now, because we've been calling in and reporting this to the board, they are now having these Sea Org members do the work at nighttime. They're cutting trees and trimming trees and doing gardening work in the sidewalk cleanup in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. So please.
Thank you, Laura FM. That's 60 seconds. President King, that does conclude the 10-minute time block. However, we do have one additional hand raised. If you'd like, we can
Yes, please.
see if Lurker would like to offer public commentary this morning. Good morning, Lurker. I see that your hand is raised. Would you like to offer public comment?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
I just am dumbfounded at all of this. Can you understand an old woman who started her life with no TV in her house, coming up believing in America and America's values and America's laws What good is a law that is not enforced? Why? Why, in this day and age, is a street in America taken over by a company or a whatever you want to call it? There's many names. One of them is Colt, which this company is viewed as by the rest of the world. What the heck? This is
Thank you.
America.
We'll start with Sandra, followed by Adedale. Go ahead. Sandra.
Hi. I would like to speak on number 4. I noticed that you are looking to renew contracts with for your disposal of inert concrete, etc. Please make sure that you are vetting these contractors properly, and none of them have any ties or collabs with Scientology, because we know that they try to infiltrate the government in order to, soft talk you all into doing what they want. I see that the this BSS is talking about concrete demolition and recycling. Now, are you aware that these planters, the illegal planters that were placed on the street, that they were filled with debris, about 20,000 kilos of reusable concrete mix? It wasn't actually soil because they had plastic plants in them. Where is that? Did the BSS actually take care of regulating the removal and recycling of that debris? Once they took it upon themselves to finally comply with your orders to remove those planters, where did that 20,000 kilos of debris go? And I want to say that I see mentioned in here that BSS takes care of street maintenance, etc. Audit LA was down at an event on September 1st, down at Catalina and Fountain, and she couldn't go down the street because those planters, as well as the overwatering in order to keep protesters off the street and flooding the streets with their sprinkler systems, damaged the concrete and has cracked it, and it has been that way for over a year, and it's on both sides of the street, and nothing has been done to date by BSS in regards to those repairs. So I have a concern about that because it doesn't allow the disabled access in and around those streets freely. So I yield back my time. Thank you.
And we'll move next to Adedale. Please identify which item you're speaking on. Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to start with the last one where about the Metro report. We've been, telling you that, there's a Metro right there by L. Ron Hubbard Way, and with it being, no parking and no, and everything closed for it, that you're adding more of a burden for people trying to get to not only the hospitals, but the Metro. So it would be really behoove them to look into it, at least start a report, and to, looking in the origins of this no parking. I do not believe it's legitimately no parking. The city cannot prove it to me or to anyone that no one knows where this no parking started. And so I wish Metro would look into it so we can open it up. It belongs to the city, to the public. It is not private property. And so that would help. I also want to tackle on to the debris removal. Like the year prior, okay, and that we came and talked, this is before you were seated, we did talk about it a lot, that there were crews and who said that they were shoring up walls and stuff in the tunnels underneath, because there's tunnels, as they go back and forth, and I guess they were reinforcing it because they used to have vans taking their people around. They don't want them to have access to the public, but now they're all under these tunnels. And so all that was excavated, and then with the planters, okay, it looked like a lot of the debris. It wasn't regular soil, or it was construction debris. It looked like, and so like what Sandra said, they put all this water and they put all the heavy planters with this very heavy debris. It completely destroyed the sidewalk on Fountain. I cannot access it at all. I've already once almost flipped out of my chair, and another time I got stuck. For the sinking sand. It's like quicksand. And when I did report it as ADA, they said it's a 10-year wait. So that's ridiculous. And so then now let's with the minutes. I wish it would talk about not only what people say now, and when it comes to the first caller, I have to say I absolutely detest, denounce, and hate the language used. I will not stand by that on any level. But I also hear the frustration of a person for I believe 15 years coming, and all these constant things that never get addressed. And we have I share frustrations with the sidewalks and all these things and what we've been talking about. But nothing is reflected in that you have a community that's coming and saying and voicing their concerns, and it's not being reflected anywhere. And so I really hope that changes, or at least, and I know you're not allowed to give us feedback when we're speaking, but I do know that.
Thank you. That's 3 minutes on it.
Thank you.
And President King, that concludes multiple agenda item commenters who had previously, oh no, my apologies. Gigi indicated that she wishes to offer multiple agenda item commentary. Go ahead, Gigi.
Okay, thank you for catching that, because that would have sucked. But okay, so I want to speak on the minutes first. I think it could be, user error, but I tried to look at the minutes that you guys are going to vote on to approve. And when I clicked download, all I saw was the date of August 22nd, 2025. I didn't see anything for the minutes. I went through the packet. Maybe I missed it because it's like 160 some pages, but I didn't see the minutes in there that you guys are going to approve. So not only can I not see what the public comments said, but I can't see anything that happened. So it could be my fault. I don't know, whatever. But you guys really need to step it up with those minutes. And I don't expect you to include like all the foul language, don't have to do a play-by-play, whatever. But if there's just some general idea of what was talked about during public comment, like other meetings do that, and yours are the worst meetings. Like you have nothing. You just say public comment was received. But okay, I'm going to go to number 2. I see that first the budget was almost 12 million, and now they're coming back for over $1 million more. Okay, there's so many times where I see things that are like approved at one price and then it's above budget. Like I don't remember a time where like someone said they were below budget and giving the money back. I don't know if that happens, whatever, but you're always having to approve more money and more money. So try to find a way to fix it before you even give them the job or whatever. And number 1, Terminal Island water reclamation. I see that it's going to be 19.5 million. Hopefully that doesn't turn into like 40 million or 50 million. But that's it. I yield my time.
President King, that concludes multiple agenda item commenters who had previously indicated that they wish to offer commentary. However, there are 2 additional hands raised. If you like, I can see if the 2 online attendees would like to offer public commentary.
Please, yes, please.
Thank you, President King. We'll start with Lurker. Would you like to offer multiple agenda item commentary this morning?
Yes, I would.
Please.
Well, is this just a waste of time? I only have not a whole bunch of time left, and I got a whole lot of grandchildren that I will be leaving to this world that we have entrusted you people to do your job. Just do your job. Listen to the people. Try and do what they say. That might make a world of difference. Just going along to get along has not made much of a difference. Whether you hide the minutes or deduct the minutes.
Speaker, this is a multiple agenda item public comment. Which items are you speaking on today?
The minutes. The minutes. 1 minute at a time. What good are they if nothing is done with the words that are said in those minutes? Please, Do your job. There's a reason it was broken at the bottom. It can be fixed from the bottom. Take back
Speaker, if you're
our
only speaking
street.
on one item, please identify that item, and you only get 1 minute for that item.
How about a moment of silence for you to reflect on the world's problems? The world. You can't fix the world. You can fix this street.
If you do not stay on topic regarding one of the agenda items, you will forfeit your time, so please get back on topic.
Okay, I'm forfeiting my time, and I'm leaving it to you to do your best with the position you've been placed in. And
Thank you,
realizing
Speaker.
And I see that Lara FM has raised your hand on the online platform. Would you like to offer multiple agenda item commentary?
Yes, please, just on the minutes.
So that's single item commentary.
Yes.
Go ahead, you have 60 seconds.
Yes, okay, so as we're doing our work as civilians, obviously, I'm sure you guys have all been hearing, and thank you even TJ and everybody on the board for being here to listen to people, even if it sounds repetitive and also comes from different angles, you know, from different attitudes and personalities. We do appreciate it. We also, as people who are born and raised in the cult of Scientology, we don't have this time. We never had this opportunity to be able to have this communication and have just a minute or whatever it is for public comment and all of that. And so I just wanted to say we really appreciate you, and we do know that you guys are doing your best to the degree that you can and with the amount of supply and people that you have. We're just trying to make it very aware when we break down that they are abusing the permits and the sidewalks and all of that and not repairing sidewalks for over 10 years, by the way. That's another thing on another agenda. But so I just, again on the minutes.
Thank you.
I'll start with Audit LA. Audit LA, are you wishing to make a general public comment?
Yes, as well as all items, please.
Thank you. You have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. I would like to talk about a permit application that the Church of Scientology has for Auditors Day on September 13th. This is an event that they have annually. It's for the most part held indoors, but they sought out an application. They applied only 2 weeks prior. It's a 40-day window that you're supposed to give because it needs inspections. It needs different departments to be able to put input. And so they're depriving the city of that. And why? This is not a last minute event. This is an annual event. It's one of their biggest events of the year that for their stuff. It's not a community event. It's for them, which they're entitled to have. But why are they trying to close the street down? They don't need to. And why are they not going by the rules? Ms. Happenstand, I always appreciate how you are a person that abides by the rules, and so I am asking if there's any way that this permit can be denied. It should not be allowed.
Thank
And
you.
especially because of the slave wages. I'm going to keep pounding on that. These people who are working
Thank
their
you.
events on
That's
the street.
time.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jill. Jill, are you wishing to make general public comment?
General, but the other person in person wasn't cut off after the 1 minute like Audit LA was. So that's not fair to the people that call in via Zoom and been waiting for almost an hour. However, revoke the R permits for
You have
L.
1
Ron
minute.
Hubbard
Go
Way.
ahead.
Revoke the R permits for L. Ron Hubbard Way. Revoke all of their events, their permits, because per Laura FM, when she called in, they were doing work at night on rooftops, unsafe situation. They're still doing slave labor. This is wrong. You guys have got to step in and stop this already. You're all going to get the Child X book eventually and hear what's going on. You're going to get real testimony like it is of a Holocaust survivor's testimony from Jamie Mustard. You guys have got to wake up and end the Scientology hold on the town of LA. Bye.
Next up, we have Gigi's phone. Gigi, are you wishing to make general public comment?
Yes, and I also want all items.
You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so why do Scientology Like, why are they allowed to break all these rules? Things have gotten so much better than last year. We're in a better place. They're not getting the endless permits, but they're still breaking rules. They're getting permits way closer to the date than they're supposed to. They're not paying in full like they're supposed to. I don't think that there's inspections going on like they're supposed to be. Why are they getting special treatment still? Why at this point are you guys still not doing something? At this point, I wonder who needs to lose their job. What department is messing this up and who is letting this happen? Because this is really ridiculous and it needs to end. They shouldn't get special privileges.
Thank you. Next, we have Yvonne. Yvonne, are you wishing to make general public comment?
Yes, and multiple items later.
Thank you. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
My comment is related to the event on the 13th that is scheduled, and it's permit number 2025-1409-2025. It does not have a work order number, and from the forward-facing information that the public has access to, we cannot tell whether they're going to close any street or deny parking on Sunset Boulevard or set up their wall of sound to annoy the residents on Catalina Avenue and the patients at Kaiser Hospital. There's no indication that any planning has been submitted because there are no indication that there's a work number. So again, the late application for this permit should demand that it is stopped in and not allowed. And my impression is that it is going to be in the parking lot next to the driveway closest to 1414 Catalina.
Thank you.
They
That's
had
time.
that driveway blocked at the time. Thank you.
Next up, Georgina. Georgina McPhee, are you wishing to make general public comment?
I am wishing to make general public comment, and even though you didn't ask, I'd also like
You
to
have 1
address all
minute.
agenda items as well.
Okay. You have 1 minute. Thank you. Go ahead.
The fact that you don't ask us if we're addressing agenda item has thrown people off. It's thrown me off a few times. You only ask if we want to make public comment, and then when I say yes, I'm not even asked later if I want to make agenda item comments. You need to ask that at the start so that it's clear at the start so people can say what their directive is for that. I'm calling because the work on Fontaine in front of Big Blue has not been done. I was just there. I just did a walk around. There are massive cracks in the sidewalk. It's not wheelchair accessible. It needs to be made ADA compliant. It needs to be made safe for the people. The people of the city should be allowed to have access to L. Ron Hubbard Way. It's not their personal street. They stole that street. That street is the property of the city and needs to be treated as such. I yield back my time. Thank you.
And to all of our virtual speakers that will be providing multiple agenda item public comment, I want to remind you that for this comment section, you do need to speak in particular to the item that you are speaking. So I know Audit LA does a good job of identifying the items before speaking. So that would be helpful when you're speaking directly about the item. So we will transition to our virtual callers.
Thank you. First up, we have Audit LA. Audit, you indicated you wish to speak on all items. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Before you start my time, Laura FM, I believe it was in queue for public comment, and unless I missed that, she was called on, but I don't believe she was. But when it comes to my time here, I want to speak first on the street upgrade, the street reports. I want to know on the report, please, that what is being done to address our issues. There are permits which are not being dealt with because they're not submitting proof of their insurance, or they haven't been for years. They are using people who are being paid indentured servant wages, which is absolutely illegal. There's no religious exemption, and they are still doing that. I caught them the other day with their patrolling, and if they have any more closures, they're going to use people who are not being paid sufficient money, and which is illegal. It's a huge liability for the city, and it needs to be addressed. Also, with the permits, not just the R permit, but the regular permits, they have got to stop getting street closures. They have a huge property. They can hold these events on their property. They do not. They even when it says open to the public, they really aren't. They select which public they want in, and that is prejudicial, and that will leave the city liable as well, because I will not be. They will not allow me into any of their events because of viewpoint discrimination. So if they have the public street and they are opening it to the public, and I'm denied, I have a right at that point to sue the city because the city gave them that permit and they are discriminating against me based just solely on my viewpoint, not whether or not I'm disruptive, not whether or not anything else, but just
Please keep your
because.
comments to the agenda item.
Oh, yes, ma'am. See, I like it because you like the rules. I appreciate you for that. Okay, so the next one, let's talk about the minutes. Here, like again, I've been repeating myself that we have been coming for a very long time. We are raising very serious issues. We're talking slave wages, if you want to call it that, or indentured servant wages, whatever you want to call it. It's being done on public property, and we've been coming and discussing it. We came and discussed a year on the planners. Were finally removed, but the minutes does not reflect that whole battle, because this is all before. Well, Ms. Happenstand was here, but the rest of you were not here for that year long. Like we're talking about those planters, and because they were not ADA compliant, right? So if President Kang, if you were to look back and say, oh, let's see what this meetings were about, you would see, oh, this was applied for, or this was asked for, this money, you would see all that. But you would not see that there was a community of people coming and asking for, about these planners that were illegally placed and demanded to be removed and that were not removed for a year. And it doesn't reflect that. And it's sad because like now you guys are,
Thank
you're all
you.
seated.
That's
Thank
time.
you.
Next up, we have Gigi's phone. Gigi, you indicated that you'd like to speak on all items. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, so let me start with the minutes. You guys really need to take this serious and do something about the minutes. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know the history of all of you on the commission, but I'm sure that there's other things you guys been involved in where there's been minutes, and all of them are probably better than the minutes from this commission. Like, the minutes are horrible. It just says public comment has been received. Like, how detailed is that? Like, even if public comment wasn't involved in stuff in your past, there shouldn't be a big portion that lasts 10 minutes that's just summed up with one sentence. That's ridiculous. On to number... Do you know what? I yield my time.
Thank you. Next, we have Yvonne. Yvonne, you indicated you wish to make multiple agenda item comment. Which items are you wishing to speak on?
Minutes 1, 2, and 3, I think.
You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. On the minutes, I would like to make sure that the young people and not so young people that were participants and received commendations today, that their name is reflected in the minutes and not just a presentation was made. Their contribution to the city in the past and hopefully in the future should be commemorated forever in your minutes. All right, number 1 is the tree issue. You were given an action item by the young lady from Council District 15, and I do hope you put it on the agenda somewhere, that the strict limitation of a tree every 30 feet is the nearest they can be. Please put that on the agenda and run it through your design people. My other concern is that this particular process was so delayed in relationship to the actual carrying out of the development plan. It seems to be an administrative problem with in-house where the trees were not brought up as part of the initial planning phase. Letting it linger to the last of the process probably raised a great deal of angst and anxiety for the developer and raised the cost of the project for everybody all around. That's an administrative failure in-house. Catch it early, require the applications include these things, and don't make it an afterthought. The streets, the streets definitely check the trees and sidewalk on Fountain between New Haven and Catalina. They are in horrible condition, and I believe 2 of those trees need to be removed because they've been surface watered and they're rotting at the trunk level. They're likely to, if we have horrendous hurricane strength winds again, they're likely to blow over. I love trees. I'm not a proponent for chopping them down, but they need an arborist to go out there and declare that they're safe. I'm done with today's agenda. There's one more on that list, but I can't recall it right now. Thank you.
Thank you. That's time. Last up, we have Georgina. Georgina, you indicated you were wishing to make multiple agenda item comment. I believe you said you'd like to speak on all items. Is that correct?
Minutes and agenda item number 1.
Minutes and item number 1. You have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you. As far as the minutes go, I think some of what we say needs to be referenced. You're not allowed to comment on what we say when we say it. There needs to be some record that is at least said. We say the same things over and over and over because there's never anything to point to the fact that it was even said or mentioned. So we're going to keep saying it. But if you put things in the minutes, we at least have record, like you were told, we advised you, and maybe there might be some follow-up and some accountability. And so I'd really like to see that changed. As far as the tree removal, I understand trees need to be removed. I'm hoping they get replaced. But my concern with them being replaced is, are we just going to put in a bunch more palm trees? They don't provide shade. Yeah, they look pretty, but they don't provide any shade. Then we need to put in native trees that do provide shade. We need to bring the city back to what it's supposed to look like, not this fake transcribed horizon and vista that's not reality. We don't need more fake. We need more reality. We need native trees put in. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you.
Go ahead and start with Audit LA, and this is the general public commentary portion, so you have 60 seconds to offer your commentary.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to speak about Scientology, and I am asking you in advance to please deny their Halloween and their Christmas permits. Not until they can prove that they are paying their people the fair wages that they're supposed to be getting for working on permitted projects and working on the street. Also, when they need to finally have the fire lane open, which they never do. They also never post anything the way they're supposed to. They're also supposed to keep the sidewalks open, and now they keep maybe one open, but not both. So until I have never one time seen them obey any permit. And even with inspections, even on their property, they have not gotten what needed inspected recently. I have checked. So they can't just keep not abiding by the permit terms and keep expecting to get them. There has to be a
Thank
time
you.
when we say, you know what,
Thank
no.
you, Audit That's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Georgina. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I'm calling because of the excessive permits on L. Ron Hubbard Way and them stealing that street and not having it open to the public. It should be open for public parking. By blocking off that street to public parking and then potentially wanting to close that street continuously, you're blocking the only avenue of escape that the Sea Org, so-called Sea Org, that is actually their human trafficking slave labor. That's their only opportunity to reach public, to reach safety, to escape. And if you block that road off, you're closing off their only avenue of escape. I urge you to please Google Maureen Ballstad and hear her story. When she escaped, she was kidnapped back. She had to work 3 years under 24-hour guard in a labor camp before she was finally able to escape again. Please don't block off their only avenue of escape. Thank you. I yield back.
And we'll move next to Jill.
I'm going to reiterate what Audit said and Georgina said. It's time to say no to Scientology cult permits. They can't get away with what they're getting away with. There's so many problems on that street and the slave labor and people working for $47 a week. For 110 hours a week, they're only getting $47, and you're allowing this to occur and the continued trafficking. I thought we were busting cults. It's time to stop the enabling of cults and using slave labor to just totally accelerate their hold on your city and their hold on you. What do they have on you that you keep permitting them these permits that are a violation of human rights? Bye.
We will move next to Laura FM. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you, TJ. Okay, so yes, I would also, we're going to go back on this. I've been protesting every day, filming the streets and the public, the people on public, the people meaning Sea Org members of Scientology who get paid $47 a week. I was there yesterday. Pretty much at different times of the day, and on film I have them, and I will send all these links. I have a bunch of links that I'm sending to Mr. President Kang, just so that you can really see this is happening on a daily basis. The permits, like for them to be working and doing all this work on the city streets in public, and when I was filming them, they ran away. They ran off while I was filming them, ordered by the security guard. So I want that all sent. I'm going to send that all to Mr. Kang and everybody so that you can see this is happening on a daily basis. Please revoke their L. Ron Hubbard naming of their L. Ron Hubbard Way. We don't want that. And also, please revoke this peace meeting they're having September 24th on their property. Again, it's another city manipulative recruiting tactic. But please stop them from working on the city public.
That's 60 seconds. And although that President King, that concludes the attendees who previously indicated that they wish to offer public comment, there's an additional hand raised at this time.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Yvonne, would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
I would, and I would like to also be added to the multiple comments.
Very well. This is the public comment portion. Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. I would like the board to put on the agenda and or handle administratively the revocation of the revocable permit allowing Scientology to maintain L. Ron Hubbard Way. They are in violation of that permit in many ways, and it is putting the city at great risk for financial loss or obligations due to those failures. That's my general comment for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that, President King, that does conclude public comment for today. President Kang, we'll go ahead and start with Audit LA. Audit LA, please identify which item you're speaking on.
2, 3, and 4, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Number 2, when it comes to Hollywood Street, so, the naming of the streets, I understand that the stars, Walk of Fame is something that's really important to LA, and I get it, but I've been of a mindset that we need to kind of transition from the hero worship of people who their only claim to fame is that they make movies, they sing, they do TV, whatever. It's not really hero worship, because especially when you think of somebody like Tom Cruise, and yes, he's adored, he's this hero, you give him a star, but this is a person who chose to reject his own child and not be a father to his own child to embrace Scientology. This is a man who not only deny, like, doesn't embrace his child, but who uses slave labor. Do you know that he is surrounded by people who get slave wages, and they pamper him and they take care of every need? He only has Sea Org members working on his behalf. That's it. And these people are getting paid slave wages. What star is like, how do they get away with that? He has so much money. And he should be able to, if Scientology won't pay these people, he has enough money to make sure they get a fair wage. But he's going along with that system. Okay, and we're giving him a star. So I think we need to change how we look at heroes. Okay, I think a hero is people who, what about the people who go in and break up cults and find these missing kids, and firefighters who run into burning buildings, or any kind of first responders, or people, pilots who were able to manage to land a plane without it crashing and burning, whatever. There's so many other people who are heroes that we don't need to keep giving it to these actors. And it's not like I hate actors or I hate going to the movies. It's just, I think we need to stop the idol worship of them and realize that they don't define what a hero is. And we should start looking for other heroes. I'd like to see some real life people, real life heroes on our sidewalks. Second, when it comes to number 3, here we go. It's a $3 million increase. And I've been saying this for a long time. And I do appreciate, because I do hear, like, the past couple of meetings, asking more deep questions of the people coming asking for more money. Like, I know Vice President Chavez asked, why are you coming now? Why didn't you know this stuff, what you needed prior? What is that? And you were asking, she asked that, and I was very grateful.
Thank
I was
you.
like,
That's 3 minutes.
that's 3 minutes?
And we'll move next to Yvonne. Yvonne, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Items 1, 2, and not 2. Anyway, the items related to the price increases. I am again concerned about the differential between the first number that they estimated and the price that they are now asking for or are planning. The budgetary considerations are phenomenal in these changes. Doubling the cost of a estimate is outrageous, just simply outrageous, and that is a flaw within your internal administration. The estimate of engineering or whoever is doing these initial assessments is administrative malpractice. They're leading you down a path of being incapable of controlling your own budgets. Planning is extremely important. Budgeting is extremely important. And you being the top level management, really, they're putting you in an extremely bad place. And that reflects on the city, that reflects on the mayor. Your administrative prowess needs to get this under control. The item by item, if necessary, you need to sharpen more pencils. That'll be it for today. I wish you well on this. This is an extremely important feature for the city to get a grip on. You lose credibility when your budgets happen like this. Thank you.
And President King, that concludes multiple agenda item commentary this morning.
Welcome, Audit LA.
Audit LA, please approach the podium and you'll have 60 seconds to offer your public comment.
Take your time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad there's public comment today. And I just want to talk about what I've been talking about, and that's revoking the R permit and not granting any more permits until Scientology is in line with the law and what we expect from organizations. And I believe they're applying for their annual permit for October for Halloween. Last Halloween, they had this creepy maze that they had adults like in dark clothing on the inside, and you couldn't see what these adults were doing. And these kids would go in there, and it was very alarming to anyone watching, but not to Scientology because they don't see children as children. So I guess it didn't faze them, but it was very frightening to the rest of us. And that's just one thing that if you do grant them their permit, please don't let them have that maze. It was just bad.
With Yvonne, followed by Gigi. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Thank you. Please put on the agenda or take the action necessary to revoke the revocable permit of granting Scientology the responsibility and oversight of L. Ron Hubbard Way. Return the parking meters on Ron Hubbard Way and do an accounting of the number of parking meters on Fountain in that same area. I believe that there's indications on the sidewalk that there's missing meters there. Also, go back and find out when the last parking meter revenue was collected and calculate how much has been lost during the duration of the missing meters. Bill that to the Scientology and add a fine for theft from the city resources. That's about all, other than please do not allow them to have any more permit.
Thank you, Yvonne. That's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Gigi, followed by Georgina.
Yes. So after about a year of looking and calling and trying to track down any proof that there's no parking on L. Ron Hubbard Way, I still cannot get confirmation that there is no parking except for the signs, which a CASP report says that those aren't even city signs or they're not regulated, whatever. But I'm sure that Scientology put those signs up themselves. So I'm still looking for proof of that street having no parking. And I'm wondering why there's no metered parking on that street. Also about the revocable permit, I don't know why it hasn't been revoked at this point, but why aren't you guys looking into that? Please move faster with that. And for Halloween, if you do let them get that permit, don't let that maze be there, because that maze is wrong. And there's footage on YouTube if you want to see of what it was last year. There are creepy people going in there, adults going in there with the kids. Like, please, don't give them the permit at all, but if you have to, don't let that maze be there. Thank you.
And we'll move next. Go. Actually, next is Georgina. Children's Voices Matter is after Georgina. Go ahead, Georgina.
Thank you. I also want the revocable permit revoked. It's they've abused that street. They've stolen that street from the city. They went out at night and painted the curb red and literally stole that street. removed valuable parking from the people of the community. That street needs to have metered parking on it so you can recoup the cost of retrofitting it with meters. It needs, and for the repairs that will need to be done, it needs to be kept open. That street cannot be kept continuously closed. It's the only avenue of escape for their Sea Org, aka hostages. If they don't have any access to public and outdoor space, how are they ever going to escape? There's been several attempts at people to escape just in this past year. People putting signs in the window yelling out, a little girl running from the building to try to find help, begging them not to call the police because the police were just going to hand them back to Scientology. I yield back my time.
Thank you. And Children's Voices Matter. This is now your 60 seconds, and you'll be followed by Jill. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to finish or continue with the list of Scientology children that have been failed by Scientology. Shane Rabaki, Jillian Schlesinger, Heather Powers, Melissa Holmes, Michelle Reed, Sarah Seltzer, Aaron Tweddle, Shane Whiteman, Zeb Brady, Laura Brooke, Danny Armado, Zach Hopkins, Jason Hordovic, Andrea Lombard, Paul McDaniel, Sean Ongley, Shane Kelsey, Shelby Lafreniere, Nina LaFear Davila, Mike Laws, Tyler Adams, Mike Brown, Gary Jackson Moorhead, Aaron Smith Levin, Colin Smith Levin, rest in peace, Sabrina Zimmer, Claire Headley, Mark Headley, Amy Scobie, Christy King Colburn, Mike Rinder, rest in peace, Tara Rell, Leah Remini, Nicole
Thank
Remini,
you. That's
Shannon.
60 seconds, and we'll move next to Jill, followed by Miriam.
Hi, I implore that you get rid of the R permits. Do not give them any kind of permits for the Halloween event. Also, you're going to have lawsuits. There was an article in yesterday in the Citizen Portal entitled "City Faces Surge in Lawsuits Linked to Scientology's Alleged Crimes Against Humanity." You need to do your job. I tagged you on YouTube in this article. Do yourself a favor and avail yourself of reading the article in which I tagged you in this article. Read about it and do something about it. Stop being all talk and no action. Bye.
Miriam, go ahead.
Thank you. I strongly advise the board to revoke the permit for the upcoming Halloween event on L. Ron Hubbard Way. The cult of Scientology has a long and documented history of violating permit conditions. They block both sidewalks, erect oversized structures, and hire petting zoos despite animals being explicitly prohibited. There has also been several documented general safety violations. These are not minor oversights. They are repeated, deliberate violations that disrupt the community and disregard the rules set by this board. I urge you to deny any future permits and suggest that Scientology utilize their large, empty parking lot instead. They usually only draw a handful of attendees anyway. Thank you.
That concludes the attendees who had previously identified that they wish to offer public commentary, President King. However, there is an additional hand raised on the virtual platform, and a quick time check for you. There is approximately 40 seconds left on the 10-minute block.
Please check.
Very
Thank you.
well. Laura, would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me jump on as well last minute. Board, thank you, Mr. Kang. We spent at least 4 hours last night getting a bunch of video links, YouTube links from protesters that have obvious footage of people working on public streets, the security guards obviously running the area. But please, if there's a chance at all and you guys are deeply listening, please revoke their Halloween permit that you guys just gave them. Please revoke that. This is a recruitment event. I will be there. I will be at the Halloween. Please revoke this. This is not okay. I was a child born and raised in this. This is your job now. So I'll be sending you all of that today. I'm asking, please revoke the L. Ron Hubbard temporary, there are permit, and please revoke the Halloween permit. Please, please, please. Thank you. I yield my time.
When you are called, we will start with in-person speakers. First up, we have Audit Ale.
Good morning again, and I'm glad to see that minutes are on here. So I want to talk about the minutes first, and I'm going to talk about all the items. Again, like here today, we got a little bit of good news. It looks like certain things that, that Mr. Trump, I guess, was, coming here for a long time is being addressed. So that's a great job, right? That's thanks to you guys. You made that happen. And it means to me, it gives me hope because it says, here's a commission that is listening, that they're trying, that they have this whole city to manage, and people keep bringing us their one little problem. Maybe it seems like, but we're listening, we're doing our best. And so I thank you for that. But that's not going to be reflected, I think, in Friday's, whenever the next minutes are going to be approved. That's sadly not going to be reflected, and it should be. Because why not? Let the people see, because that would inspire a lot of people that you're listening. And then also, there are a lot of people coming here, right, talking about their concern for children with this Halloween event. That it's nothing that should be geared towards children. And it might be a good thing to note that even if you don't give specifics, that numerous people were talking about a certain concern for children because it comes under your permitting event. And, and that won't be reflected unless you change your mind and you do start doing this stuff, which I hope you do. I guess I'm a city attorney, can figure out the legalities of all that. But I'll move on to number one. Now we're talking about another increase. Now, I've noted that I do hear more questions happening when people come up, because I listen beyond. When I'm at home watching, I listen beyond, and I do hear a difference. I hear more questions than I ever did from any of the previous commissions. And I think I'm on number for the past year and a half I've been coming. I think you're like the fourth board. So I feel like we're finally getting somewhere. And so keep that up, but not only maybe asking questions, but making them before they even present it, like maybe getting something in place where they kind of have to have it together. Because Yvonne made a really good point last time that it's really not, it affects the budget because they're coming in, we're like, okay, this is the budget coming out of our budget, but then now what really is coming out of the budget is this higher amount. So, and we're in a budget crunch right now. And so the best thing you can do for us with our purse is to be real diligent about that. And as far as sidewalk repair, can we add a little bit of money to that budget for the sidewalk and do the fountain sidewalk? I can't go down it. So even when I do my auditing, I want to go down that. I can't do it. I'll get flipped out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next in-person speaker is Mr. Trump.
The minutes and all items. Why does it take so long to fix a pothole? Why does it take so long for you to address our public sidewalks and streets? It's the public's money. And if you know how to budget, if you know how to spend money and hire the right contractor, guess what? Everyone in the city, everyone in the country looks with thumbs up saying, these people are doing a great job, like the former people that Mayor Bradley hired, who did excellent work. My uncle worked for street maintenance. He was an excellent supervisor. He never was harsh. He always provided extra hours, extra work hours for those that needed it, and those that didn't want to work, he gave them the day off to be with their families instead of slaving on the hot asphalt, slurry sealing the hot streets, digging trenches and putting in pipes. My uncle was a bad motherfucker by the last name of Louis German. Isn't that ironic? His last name is German and my name is Herman. No, it's because we're badass motherfuckers. Look them up. Louis German retired from LA City Public Works street maintenance. He was a bad motherfucker, just like I am, because I take after my family. Except I'm just a little more cynical and critical when it comes to public sidewalks and streets for people like the young woman behind me in her wheelchair audit, who deserves the decency at her age and time to roll over any public sidewalk, any pathway, any route of travel without having to come here and complain. She wouldn't be here complaining if it wasn't true in my statements. Just like I mentioned earlier about the Temple and Acacia Street out here that they're resurfacing. It takes so long. People are tired of the stealing. People are tired of the criminal government. But now let me go into the other avenue of what I believe in. You see this cane? Does that mean I'm disabled? Does this mean that I have a disability? We want to know that. I want to know. Do I have a mental disability? Has anyone of you ever reached out other than John to talk with me and befriend me and let me know that he's going to make things better for me? John's the only one. Why is that? I have compassion. I used to be a nurse for 6 years at County USC. I got a record of doing things for people, making people feel good and making their lives so great without discrimination or race.
Thank you very much. We will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll start with Yvonne, followed by Gigi. Reminder to please identify which item you're speaking on as you begin.
There we are. First, we're going to start off with the minutes. I appreciate them only 30 some pages this time around. The minutes are, I'm going to say, frustrating for somebody to find in order to review. When I'm reading the agenda in its full form, it does not identify that you need to go back to the other date in order to read the minutes that you're referencing in the agenda. That's a small annoyance. The bigger annoyance is, of course, that public response was received, or public comment was received. What public comment? Okay. Every time the public repeats, please remove the revocable permit, should be listed as a comment that was made. Please don't grant special event permits to Scientology. Should be a comment made. The record keeping historically is not going to look favorable upon you. When we identify the risk to the city that revocable permit represents, it should be noted in the comments. I can explain that risk in greater detail if I had the time. Number two, 28 repairs. How many are left? I'm sorry, I want to go with number one first. You've acquired additional $1 million cost to the city citizens, and apparently it was a result of a consultant of record. How convenient. These are the people the city hired to do planning and draw up the sketches that then give the contractor the specifications onto which they bid and perform their task. Now, is that consultant of record responsible for refunding any of the cost associated with their failures and errors? I hope so. It's not indicated in the agenda. The other thing is number 2, 28 repairs to sidewalks. Great. How
Thank
many
you.
more to go?
Thank you, Yvonne. That's 3 minutes. We'll move next to Gigi, followed by Georgina. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to do minutes 1 and 2. So for the minutes, it might not seem like such a big deal. It's only part of the minutes that we're talking about. The public comment has been received. You know, like I've seen multiple switch ups in this commission. You know, I've been here for a long time, longer than you guys. And I have to say, we have the best president that we've had. And I have hope and I have faith that something this small could be taken care of very easily and that you can take care of it. You know, I wish that when you go to approve the minutes, that someone would just step up and say, you know, how can we approve this if it's public comments been received and that's not completely accurate? It's omitting a lot of information. You know, like, please do something about something small, because that's progress still. Even if it's a baby step, something small, you're doing something. So please. Okay, number 1, again, we're seeing something that is over budget. And I'm wondering, is there a way when there's like these bids or whatever they're called, can they have 2 different numbers for you? 1 for if things go how they're planned, and then 2, if this happens, it'll cost this much more money. If this happens, it'll cost that much more. I don't know if that's currently how you guys do it, but you shouldn't, number 2, you shouldn't be taking the low bid. It says low bid, but low bid, you get what you paid for, and then they ask for more money and they come back and take more money from the city. The bids don't seem to be accurate at all. So please continue to ask the questions that you've been asking. Continue to press them. But please don't just take the lowest bid, because it's not always going to be the lowest in the end. Thank you.
Georgina McPhee.
Hi, thank you. I want to speak on the minutes and on agenda item number 2. I agree with the previous 2 that the minutes need to reflect what is actually occurring. People, like she said, Gigi said, don't go from committee to committee and read all the back minutes. And even if they were to, they're not going to see all the things that we've been saying and doing. And we've been doing this for months and months, some of them a year, trying to get a message across. And that message is being obfuscated by not being included in the minutes. And that needs to be addressed. Agenda item number 2 about the sidewalk repairs, that reminded me that I was just at the Big Blue building a few days ago. There are numerous huge cracks and unlevel pavement parts on Fountain Avenue that need to be addressed, that have been caused by Scientology watering for 48 hours straight when they had those big, heavy, aggregate-filled planters on that sidewalk. And it's totally destroyed that part of the sidewalk and made it not ADA accessible. Thank you. I yield back my time.